time.
What has been the most memorable interview to date for you?
All right, so I've interviewed so many people, and I think the biggest thing I love is interviewing people at key points in their life. So I covered tennis a lot early on, and to be there covering tennis when Venus and Serena came on the scene was like a great privilege and gift for me.
Too. Yes.
And to be able to sit down, I think, we look back, both Serena and I aren't sure, but we think that I did her first big TV interview.
Say word.
And to get to do that at that moment in her life, and then, you know, we still have a great working relationship to this day to be able to say, okay, I was there at the beginning. With Michael Jordan, I interviewed him at a couple key points in his life, but to do his first big interview when he started owning the team in Charlotte, and to know that like that was such a seminal, important moment in his journey. So those are the ones that mean the most to me. I do say though that the biggest, best interview I did was the one that never made it on TV, which was, you know, those of us who fly commercial, and I know you sometimes fly private, friends, but
we fly commercial
I'm just
too.
saying,
Stop it.
Those of us who fly commercial know that feeling of you're getting on the plane and it's so crowded, but there's a seat open next to you.
Yes.
You are excited there's a seat open next to you. You think, my God, what if I make it on this entire flight with the seat open next to me and I can spread my shit out? And I was going from DC to New York, and not just the seat next to me, but the seat next to that. So I was in the aisle, and the middle and the window seat were open, and they were announcing we're gonna close the door, we're gonna close the door, and I'm thinking, this is amazing. I've got a bunch of work to do. I can spread it all out. Nobody else get on the plane. And I just remember saying over and over to myself, nobody get on the plane, nobody get on the plane.
So you're manifesting that.
I am trying to, and they didn't close the doors. And I was like, come on, guys, it's time. 20 minutes, they're holding the doors open. And the people who walked on the plane finally was Muhammad Ali and his wife. And they ushered them right down to sit next to me. And I was sitting there dumbfounded at first, but I introduced myself and we started talking. And he obviously was more limited in talking at that point because of the Parkinson's, but he was very communicative and chatty, and his wife kept jumping in there with kind of translating and stuff. And it was amazing. It was almost an hour of one of the best sports conversations I've ever had with one of the most iconic people I have ever met. And it will never make television anywhere, and it will be always sort of my favorite interview, even though, of course, it was an accident.
We just made it.
Almost didn't happen.
So you talked the man head off for 2 hours almost.
I mean,
to New York.
he's a chatty guy, as hard as that may be, but you've met him. He wants to communicate with people, or he certainly did until he passed.
Wow, Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest to do it.
What did you admire about him?
I mean, so much. So much goes into your confidence and the practice that you put into your craft to become a master at it. And then going to the ring, the part that no one tells you about events is that you got so much adrenaline going, you got so much emotion. No one ever talks about the emotional part of a game.
You were emotional playing?
I was very emotional.
Nobody ever picked up on that. That's amazing. You held it in so much.
Yeah, I did a great job of mirroring
You did a great job of masking
But the master of that is controlling that breath.
No, of course.
You know, one of my questions is, do you get nervous when you get in front of the mic, or are you so confident in preparing and what you prepared that it's almost like, I don't even see the camera, just a vessel to be able to carry out what I'm about to actually put out?
I mean, I'm so interested in the conversation we're having. I don't tend to think about this so much. I know it's there, and I'll look at, hi, I'm looking at it once in a while. Hi.
Right.
But I don't actually think about it while we're talking. I don't know if you do. No. I actually don't, because I'm actually so interested in this and what we're talking about and what I can learn when I'm doing an interview, what I can find out.
No doubt.
But I do, okay, so here, I'm switching on you though, because I do want to ask you follow up on the Muhammad Ali thing. He is someone that, to me, you guys have a lot in common of being able to channel that emotion into being successful, right?
Well,
because it can go wild.
It
can be not channeled productively.
No doubt, and it can get out, it can be unbalanced. Yeah, absolutely.
So how hard was that for you to learn how to do that?
I guess before I got thrown off or whatever, I was going to say the one thing that stood out about him is how he always seemed like he was in control of that breath.
Right.
The emotional part of something can be dictated, it could be manipulated. It's so much that can go on if you have an imbalance. And it seems like in him I seen a part where he actually, during the fight, chilled and put his arms on the thing and dunked a whole bunch of times, or when he knew or saw something and then struck, like His ability to be ahead of the whole thing was one thing I pulled out of his greatness. And obviously, his philanthropy of putting everything that you have on the line for something that you believe in. And not so much of just a religious state, but your own personal state about who you are as a human being. And knowing that you have family and a whole bunch that you support with this, right?
Yep.
To put it all up for non-speculative and just be in a box and be the first to be kind of the GOAT or to be the scapegoat for all of this that's going on.
For his beliefs,
Man, they put that all on him. Not only that, but cut out his lights and really, really pushed him mentally to where you had to be mentally strong to be able to go through that. And I would take a lot of pride in going into hostile places to play and having a sharpness and having a vision to block it all out. And like you say, not even see the camera, but see when I'm here and see what I'm here to do and see what I'm destined to be in this situation. Like I'm going like this a little bit, but from an athlete, no one teaches you that. You have to actually be on the ground to learn that. And to master that is a whole nother lesson.